Now, if you're really going for an extensive restoration, you see here like the front end, the beams, the ball joints and whatnot, shock towers. If you really want this clean, many times what you could do is put a set of tires on the car, roll it outside in your yard or whatnot, and there's guys out there that will actually have blasters, like a soda blaster, power blaster, sand blaster, something like that, or even a water blaster. You can hook those up to your hose and you start the engine up, and they even sell those power washers that basically have heat to them, and you can rent them probably for a couple $100 a day or something like that, or $50 a day, and depending on your area, of course. And get all this gunk off your axles and your shock towers and your ball joints and all that stuff, your tie rods and all that sort of thing, and to get these nice and clean, it really brings up the value on the car. And then once that's all cleaned up, you can get all new parts to put on there, and then to make it nice and clean, at least if you have some original stuff you want to keep on there, you can always spray it a nice jet black to make it look nice and clean. So it's just it all depends on what kind of a restoration you're looking to go into. But when you go that little bit extra mile, the car really becomes rewarding and a really great showpiece. As you notice too here, we also took out our gas tank. Gas tank's sitting right over there. We just have that on the floor from now. Again, we're going that extra mile, taking the gas tank out instead of the painter actually having to mask off the tank and block it off, and then spraying inside underneath the trunk if you're planning to go this route. And a good reason to take off the gas tank is because you want to see what's going on down in here. A lot of times these areas down in the corner, which is where the heat channel butts up against, is usually rotted down there. If it's not, then you're in great shape. If you do have some rot, you'd have to cut a template out of some sheet metal and weld it on. You also then you want to inspect your steering, your tie rods and stuff, your brake lines, your master cylinder and things like that, and your steering box, and you want to see what kind of condition all this stuff is in. I know it's a little dark here to see, but it's just a great way. Gutting in general is just a great way to inspect your car overall. When you keep things on there, things are still hidden, and it might look like you're opening up Pandora's box, but again, just take your time. There is no rush in this. You don't want to rush a restoration. Because in the end, and you're going to be faulting yourself and kicking yourself because you missed out on certain things. Some other things to point out, which I found over the past few bugs that we've been getting in, is that some people have been modifying their bugs in the past and just kind of doing their own thing. And for example, here you see like 2 sets of holes here. I mean, this was not factory. You could tell somebody drilled holes here. There's an extra hole here for some reason, why I don't know. These 2 holes are for the antenna. This one looks like it was probably maybe put a different style of an antenna on here. But what you want to do is then get a marker, maybe like a blue marker or like something yellow on a black car like this, or something bright. And as you go around your car, you circle the areas that you want fixed or filled. And just got to remember to tell the guy when you bring it to him that please take a look at these areas, and I think it needs attention. If you could fill these in or fix them or weld them, that would be great. And also, like, you go a little further. Some people don't take the mirrors off. Some people don't take the front hood catch off. Down here I even take that stuff off as well. All your rubber seals, of course, like I stated before. Oh, and then when it comes to the seals under the hoods, a lot of times you can get like a putty knife that's has like a bent angle to it, which I use a lot, or even it's like a nice big fat screwdriver, and you can pry up a little bit on this lip and start pulling out the old rubber seal. You want to make sure you get all the rubber out of here. Sometimes the seal, the flap out here stays on, but not the rubber inside the channel that might still be stuck in there. You want to get that out of there, because if they paint, then that stuff is going to be painted, it's going to get hard in there, and then you got to put that seal in, and it's going to be a real pain in the butt. I've also seen some cars that come to me that these kids had their car painted, and they wound up filling in this whole track where the seal is supposed to go, and then they can't even get their seal in, and they resorted to basically left to glue the seal down on the body. So you want to basically, once you take that seal out, get in there and just move it up just a little bit, not too much, just enough so it's not going to be that much of a hassle to get the new seal in. You can even get, you know, when you buy the new seal, test fit it before you send it off to paint, and test fit it, see if you can get it in there, because later on, if it's too tight and that new seal doesn't want to go in, and again, we're dealing with aftermarket parts, so sometimes the seals and the sizes and the shapes of them just don't fit just right. So you want to be able to, you know, get that seal in, because if it's too tight and you're using screwdrivers and you're using things like that, you run the risk of scratching your car, and you don't want to do that with a newly painted car, do you? No, of course not. So another thing I want to point out is, again, I've stated this once before in my other videos, is when you take these windows apart, you know, on these earlier BuGs, 64 and earlier, you're going to have the inside scraper is just a straight rubber piece that has a wire clip, long wire clip basically, that goes into the holes inside the channel here. Make sure when you take off that rubber and the wire, when you're prying it off, save that old wire. The new wire from the new rubber that you're going to get is going to be such a tough time to get into these holes down in here. So what you want to do is, on the new rubber that you get, you take off the new wire and you use the old wire on the new rubber. And same will actually go with the outside scraper as well. The new scrapers, especially the Brazilian ones, if you buy them, I know they're cheaper than the German. They will go in, but the clips themselves, the metal clips that are inside that hold the rubber and the chrome together, basically they might be a little tough to get into the holes as well. So when you take off the old outside scraper, you can actually take off the old metal clips and reuse them and put them on the new outside scraper with the chrome and the seal. So that's just another tip there I wanted to point out to you. Like I said, you want to take off the door handles, you know, the windows. Okay, here's semaphores here. We took these out. These are the turn signals that pop out on this side. There's one screw that holds that in right down in here. Once you unscrew that, you want to actually pull down on the semaphore so it clears this opening, and then you should be able to pull it out. And then there's two wires that actually just operate those semaphores. So